Hello guys, and welcome to class today. This is EDU-SOLUTION. This is what we do, providing answers to every of your questions. So in our WhatsApp channel, a number of persons have made requests for a certain topic, which is bearing and distance. I know that topic, even while we are in secondary school, that topic seems difficult, kind of. So, but thank God that in our time we were not having this privilege that you're having now. But now you have EDU-SOLUTION to bring answers to your questions. So now we want to treat this topic, which is bearing and distance. So we are having bearing and distance. So in your junior secondary school, you were taught this topic. That was where it was introduced, bearing and distance. And of course, you would have been taught that there are two types of bearing, which are compass bearing and three-digit bearing. So we have number one, compass, two types of bearing, compass bearing, and then number two, the three digits bearing. Okay, so these are the two types of bearing. We'll not be able to solve questions effectively if we just go straight to solving tough question, as it were, on that bearing. So that's the reason why we have to go this low to be able to understand it, because this is where I will always be making references to when we start solving properly. So now, meanwhile, you can have questions that involve this, because in WAEC, NECO, JAMB, of course, you know there is under objectives, objective questions. So you can have questions like, this bearing is the same as, do you get it now? So that means what they are trying to tell you is convert that bearing to the second one. So that means we can convert from compass to three digits, and we can also convert from three digits to compass. Okay, now let's take an example. Of course, if you see compass bearing, example of compass bearing, for example, you can have north 70-degree east. Yeah, north 70-degree east. This is how to represent compass bearing. It must have two letters which are representing two directions. So north 70-degree is. Why for three-digit bearing, it will not be in this form. It can be maybe 120 degrees. So there is no letter attached to it. So whenever you find something like this, it's talking about three-digit bearing. Whenever you find something like this, it's talking about compass bearing. Meanwhile, we can convert from one to the other. So now let's take example. Let me use this. Let's assume we have this bearing. We want to convert this bearing to, of course, you know this is three digits. We want to convert this bearing to compass bearing. What we do, we draw the cardinal point. Meanwhile, we have also learned that this is the north, this is the south, this is the east, and then this is the west. So anything traveling in this direction, we can call it a northeast. Anything traveling in this direction, we can call it a southeast. Anything traveling in this direction, we can call it a southwest. And anything in this direction, we can call it a northwest. You will take note that this northeast was not called east-north. This southeast was not called east-south. Why? Because for every compass bearing, it must start either from the north or from the south. So three-digit bearing starts only from the north. Why? Take note of that. Three-digit bearing starts only from the north. Why? Compass bearing starts either from the north or from the south. So if we have something like this, traveling between south and east, we'll call it southeast, north, east, south. Why? Because it's compass that starts from south and north. Okay, now we are taking this as an example. We have 120 degrees. Of course, as you are seeing it here, it is a three-digit bearing. I want to convert to compass. What I will do is to draw the cardinal point. We're having our north, our south, our east, and then our west. So we have 120 degrees. Of course, you know that from here, from north to this east is 90 degrees. And then again, here, this is our north, so this south is another 90. That means here is 90, 90, 90, 90 to give us 360, which is angle at a point. So since here to here is 90, and what we have here is 120, I will just estimate here to here is 90, maybe here can be 100, maybe it can be 120, so I will draw, it's coming down. So that means what we are considering now is, this is what we are considering. So that means this bearing now is from this north. Don't forget it must start from the north because it's three-digit bearing. So that means here is 120 degrees. So we have just represented it in diagram. But if we want to convert it to compass bearing, what we do is, since compass bearing starts either from the north or from the south, so and the closest one here, the closest value here, the closest region here is the south. I can't start from the north, because if I start from the north, it will still return me back to this place, which is talking about 3-digit bearing. So I'll have to start from the south. So starting from the south, that means from here to this place. So if here to here is 120, so we have to get the remaining one. Angle on a straight line is what? 180. So we are having 180 minus this 120. So we'll have the remaining one as what? 60. So if we now want to write it, we'll now have that, we'll write it as a south 60 degree. Don't forget here is east. So it's between south and east. So we'll have south 60 degree east. So this our answer that we have here is the same as this. Okay, so that whether in JAMB or WAEC or NECO or even GC, in your objective questions, if they tell you to solve this or this is the same as what, so this is the answer here. So they can also give you in this one, they will tell you to take it to 3 digits. So in the same way, just like a reverser, take it back. So I've taken one example and converting from 3 digits to compass. So I want to take one example converting from what's it called, compass to 3 digits. So with that, we'll now go straight to take a proper question. So let's take another one. So if we are having, for example, north 70 degree west. Yes, beautiful question. So you can see this is a compass bearing question. So north 70 degree west. We have been asked questions, will put it this way. This north 70 degree west, this bearing is same as, so that means they are trying to tell you convert it to the next type of bearing, which is a 3-digit bearing. So all we are going to do is now we draw our cardinal point, which is north, this is our south, this is our east, this is our west. So now north 70 degree west, it means first thing that the bearing lies between north and west. So this is our north, this is our west. So that means we are estimating, we are not measuring. So that means it lies between here and here. So we just take it up, and it's just an estimation, I didn't measure. So that means, and we said north is between north and west, that's why we have it here. And then north 70 degree west. So it must start from, remember I said compass bearing starts from the north or from the south. So since north is closer, I will start it from the north until we get to this line. So that means here is where we're having our 70 degrees. So I've just, this diagram here just represents, let me just call this number 2. So this diagram here just represents this one I have not converted. So if we now want to convert to 3-digit bearing, we have to start from the north because it starts from the north. So what we just need to do is to look for the bearing from this north, from here down to this line. That's our answer. So of course your guess is as good as mine. We are having here at 70, 360 angle at a point minus 70 is going to give us what? 360 minus 70. So finally we are going to have that north 70 degree west is equal to 360 minus 70 is going to give us 290 degrees. Okay, so it's as simple as that. If you have any other questions, you can go to the comment section, drop it there. I'll provide answers to it. See you next time. Have a nice day.